Hello. I trained like a Fortnite pro for 30 days and I learned how to sing in 60 days, kind of. Point is, I really like doing these self-improvement challenges for myself, and I'm gonna try to do something else that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Meditate. I've actually tried it before, but it's just very hard for me to focus and my mind always wanders. I just never really stuck long enough with it to feel like I immersed myself fully in it, so I don't think I have ever meditated in a productive way. With my previous projects, I had a set goal to get to. For example, I wanted to place in the top 1000 of a Fortnite tournament and I wanted to become a good singer. But for this project, I don't have a goal. It's more about the experience and what I can get out of it. I guess my goal, if I were to make one, is just to figure out for myself if meditation is as good as so many people claim, and if it's something that I want to implement into my everyday life. The most common cited benefits of meditation are reduced stress, increased focus and concentration, a better understanding of yourself. It reduces anxiety and depression. It can increase happiness, can increase compassion. It puts you in a better mood. It helps you sleep better. There's actually quite a lot, but I think those are kind of the main ones. As I go along on this experiment, I'll let you know which benefits, if any, I actually get out of it. I'll let you know the struggles and the triumphs of meditation. I had a very strict schedule for my other projects that I did. I don't for this one, but it's just because I don't know what time is best for me to meditate. When I tried it in the past and I did it in the morning, I just fell asleep. Actually, I also fell asleep when I tried it at night. I think the hardest part of this project is gonna be not falling asleep. I don't know, I'll try different times and different methods of meditation. I don't really have any rules for myself except for the fact that I will be meditating every single day for 2 hours for the next 30 days. Let's go. Day 1 of 2 hours of meditation, and I have decided to do it a guided meditation because I just know that if I try to do it with my own thoughts, I'm gonna deviate, I'm gonna lose concentration, lose focus. So maybe once I learn how to do it with the guided meditation, I can start doing it on my own. Maybe that's kind of too advanced for me right now, so I looked for some guided meditations, and well, I don't know yet because I haven't watched them. I mean, heard them, whatever. I'm gonna start with a beginner meditation, and then I'll experience deep love and acceptance for yourself and healing, and that's roughly 40 minutes, and then we'll finish with this one for abundance and health and wealth, and we'll finish with that, and then I'll report my experience. Let's go see what happens.
2 hours later.
Something very interesting happened as I was doing the second guided meditation. It told you to visualize yourself and dig deep into how you were feeling, and the thing that I visualized, it was me on top of a tower. And it was the me that you see in the videos, this crazy guy, this funny guy that makes people laugh, and it's kind of chaotic and insane, and I don't know. But then it told me to dig deeper than that surface level, and so I did, and what I found was myself inside of that tower, and I felt lost and afraid and lonely and trying to escape that tower. And then the meditation told me to dig even deeper than that, and I did, and I saw myself just lying down, relaxed, wearing sunglasses, smiling. I don't really know what it means, but that's what I saw, and I wish I could have gone even deeper than that, but at that moment I kind of snapped out of it because I started thinking, okay, this is kind of cool, this is very interesting, and I started thinking how I was going to explain it in this video, and from that moment on I couldn't focus well enough to immerse myself in it, because every time something special started to happen, I just started immediately thinking, okay, this is how I'm gonna explain it in the video. Basically what I'm saying right now, I constructed while I was meditating, because these words that I'm saying to you right now, I planned them as I meditated because I couldn't concentrate on the meditation. This is a problem I didn't foresee. The project itself is distracting me from immersing myself in the project. Thankfully I didn't fall asleep. for the 2 hours, and the time actually, it was starting to feel long at the end, but it was actually not that bad. The 2 hours went by pretty fast, and I feel relaxed, and I felt at peace in the moment, and I just feel normal now, to be honest. Nothing really negative about it, but I do feel kind of bad that I wasn't able to immerse myself in it because of this whole thing of making the video. But tomorrow I'm gonna try the second 2 again just to see if I can immerse myself. I'm not gonna record a video tomorrow so that I can stop thinking about what I'm gonna say, because I'm not gonna say anything, and just be in the moment, be present, and see if that makes a difference. Pretty interesting day 1. It's just day 1. Day 1. I just said day 1 way too many times. Day 1. Day 2, and holy, it's getting kind of crazy. Maybe I'm crazy, I don't know, but I started meditating again with the same guide as yesterday, and it was like I don't know, I went back to that tower, and when I got to the place where I saw that lonely, lost version of myself, he was not hitting the walls anymore. He was just sitting there, and he welcomed me with a smile. He was waiting for me. I dug in deeper again to the version of me with the sunglasses, and I looked deeper this time, and I looked through the sunglasses, and there were tears on his eyes, and there weren't like streams of tears falling down. It was like tears that were stuck to his face, almost like frozen there permanently. After that, we all went kind of to the middle section of that tower, not at the top, not at the bottom, but like that's what middle means. Anyways, we all got together, the crazy version of me, the lost, lonely version of me, and the sunglasses wearing version of me. We all got together and sat in a circle, and actually the sunglasses version of me was very talkative. He talked a lot. He kept telling me that I was amazing, that I was loved, that anything was possible for me, that I didn't know how powerful I am, and all these crazy positive things about myself. And one thing he kept repeating over and over again was, "We are you and you are us." He kept saying that so many different times. So the way I kind of rationalize this is that over the years, I've kind of compartmentalized different parts of myself and hidden parts of myself because I was afraid. And I actually got to this conclusion because the should we call him sunglasses? I don't know. That version of myself told me, "You have let fear be in the driver's seat for way too long." That is a literal exact quote. After a little bit, he actually asked permission if he could go up to the top of the tower. I was kind of in shock, so I hesitated, and he said, "Oh, it's okay. You're not ready. You will be." I don't remember if it was before or after that, but I asked him, "How come the crazy version of myself is at the top of the tower?" And he just said, "That's because that's how you see yourself publicly. The lonely, lost version of yourself, that's how you see yourself internally. And this sunglasses cool version of yourself, that's how you see yourself as you were in the past." And each time he described one of my versions, he said, "That's not you. That's not you." And then at the end, he again said, "We are you and you are us." So it's like we divide ourselves in all these different versions of ourselves, but we are not one version. We're all the versions, and we are not anything. I don't know. This is weird. I actually couldn't go much deeper than that because the guide from the guided meditation didn't let me stay there long enough. So tomorrow I'm gonna try meditating without the guides, just like background music and my own thoughts. It might be harder, I don't know, but I'm gonna try it tomorrow. I don't know, this is all just very crazy. I wanted to go into this meditation thing from a scientific perspective and just report on the effects it had on me physically and mentally, but this has kind of been a very spiritual experience. I mean, I'm gonna let it happen. I'm just being honest with you. Maybe I'm crazy, I don't know. Day 2. Day 3, I started reading about meditation. I mean, I guess I should have started before beginning my process. Point is, I had some weird experiences, so I wanted to see if other people had similar ones, and I couldn't really find anything that was very close to what I had. Actually, what I found is that I'm not meditating the right way. So according to what I read, the most common practice of meditation is just like focusing on one thing and letting go of everything else. In this instance, and more commonly, you focus on your breath. Breathe in, exhale, focus just on that. Of course, feelings and thoughts are gonna come up. You're supposed to neither engage with them or reject them. You acknowledge them and then go back to thinking, focusing on your breath. That's how you're supposed to do it, but I engaged with those emotions, I engaged with those thoughts, and I guess that's wrong. But if that's wrong, I don't wanna be okay. The point is, yeah, okay, maybe I'm not meditating correctly, but I feel like what I've done, I've discovered so much about myself and I feel like I'm growing. Why would I stop doing that? Like, I have the rest of my life and even the rest of this project to try to meditate the right way, but for today at least, I'm gonna try to go back to that tower and explore that some more. This whole thing is about experimenting and feeling new experiences. So maybe I'm not meditating the way you're supposed to meditate, but I'm doing something, and that something is leading to very positive, crazy, but positive results. So probably tomorrow I'll just try and focus on my breath and let go of everything else, but today I want to explore this some more.
2 hours later.
So I think everything I read got too much into my head. So I was trying to get to the tower again, like I said, but I was gonna try to do it on my own without the guided meditation. So I was just listening to some soothing background music and focusing on my breath, and I did that for 40 minutes, and the time passed so fast, so quick, but I felt like I couldn't really go too deep into it. I was always like fighting off distractions and everything, going back to my breath, and I didn't get to the tower. And so after those 40 minutes, I went back to the guided meditation, and I also couldn't get back to the tower. Everything I read, I was too into my head, I think, just listening to everything I read. So I couldn't see the tower, but I could still hear that version of me, the sunglasses version of me that talks a lot. And he just told me straight up, I gotta stop listening to all that crap. He put it in a metaphor. He just said it's just like going into the water. You're letting all these people tell you how to go in the water and then how you should feel in the water, how the water should feel around you. And he said, just go in the water and feel how you feel and let it be that way. Don't try to make it anything specific, just let it be there. And I don't know, the first 2 days were more special when I knew less about meditating than now that I read so many articles about it. The other thing that version about myself told me is that I gotta let go of control. Like, I have this problem of trying to control everything around me, control my life, control my surroundings. He literally said I was a slave to control and that I needed to let go of controlling because I had made control be a chain that held me back. And in order to be free, I just need to let go of that desire to control, because we can't control everything. We can't really control anything. I couldn't stay in it too much. The connection today was very weak. I thought maybe reading more about meditation would help me understand things better, but it just somehow made it harder to meditate. I don't know. Day 3, day 4, and I decided today for my meditation to do the entire 2 hours just focusing on my breath. So that's what I tried to do, and for the entire 2 hours it was pretty much me just trying to refocus on my breath. My mind would wander, I would try to refocus, my mind would wander, I would refocus, wander, refocus, wander. The entire 2 hours was like that. And yeah, for the entire 2 hours there was like, for 1 single second in the 2 hours, I felt like my body weighed less, so I felt weightlessness for like a single second. That was kind of the only special type of thing that happened. And I did forget to mention yesterday that I saw this green light. It was kind of like a bubble. It would start at the bottom and it would expand upwards. And today as I was meditating, I saw a purple light which kind of began from my eyes and went away. I don't know, maybe it was just my imagination, but it was kind of the only crazy weird thing that happened. But something I have noticed after I started meditating, I feel like I'm less rushed. So every day I feel like I'm so rushed to do everything in my life, so I gotta get this done and do that, and I don't know, I just feel like my life is not in such a rush. It's weird to explain, I just feel less rushed. Day 4. Day 8, and I haven't made a report in a few days because, well, nothing too special has happened, but actually the more real reason is because I watched the other videos that I have filmed, and this video is already too long! Like, who's gonna watch this? But I'm also kind of scared and worried that maybe I peaked too soon. Like, what can compare to the first 2 days of meditation? But some updates: I started meditating while laying down. Meditating while sitting up is more often recommended, and it's good if you do it for 15 minutes, 30, maybe even 1 hour. But since I'm meditating for 2 hours, I don't know, after a while it just gets very uncomfortable for my back and my neck, and they start hurting. So every time I have to reposition, I kind of get out of that meditative state. So I just started doing it laying down, and there is a higher risk of falling asleep while I do that, but I haven't yet. And it is so much easier to get into that meditative state while laying down, at least for me. And yeah, it's kind of cool because when I get into that meditative state and I get really deep into it, I kind of feel like I'm sinking into the bed. And also something I've started feeling pretty commonly is some sort of like electrical current. It's not very strong, it's kind of weak, but it starts like in my chest and goes like up to my arm. Sometimes it flows like through the whole body, but mostly it's just like from my chest to my arms, and it's kind of cool. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been doing it without the guides, just with the background music and trying to focus on my breath, and yeah, it's pretty much it. I don't know, I kind of just hope that what's happening right now, it's how it started, and then by day 30, what happened in the first 2 days would happen then, because it would, I don't know, it would make a better story. But life doesn't like to follow a cliche narrative, and this is what's happened with my experiment. Day 8. Day 10, and today I tried Transcendental Meditation, and it sounds crazy, but it's basically the same, only that instead of focusing on your breath, you focus on a mantra. And a mantra is basically a meaningless word that you repeat over and over again. This type of meditation is supposed to be a bit easier to get you to that meditative state and to go deeper. And in my case, it was definitely much easier to get there, but I don't feel like I got deeper. So it was kind of the same results, just a faster way to get there. The problem was that for this meditation, they usually recommend you do it for 25 minutes 2 times a day, and since I'm doing it for 2 hours, after 1 hour of repeating the same thing over and over again, my voice was a little exhausted. So after that hour, I just focused on my breath. I did like it better though, so I think once I'm done with this project and I'm not doing this for 2 hours every day, I think I will do Transcendental more often. Or maybe even now I'll just start with that and then continue with the breath thing like I kind of did today. But again, no crazy thing happened today like the first few days, so I'm gonna try guided meditation again tomorrow. Day 10. Day 11, and I finally went back to that freaking tower, and I got scolded. Well, I did get the warm welcoming like last time, but then the sunglasses guy just told me, "You don't need to come back to the tower. I already told you everything I needed to tell you." You wanting to come back to the tower and trying to come back is just another way of you to control things. It's you trying to control your experience with the meditation, and it's you trying to control the narrative of this project. Just let go of that desire to control everything. Live in the now. Let things happen. And so I asked him, how do I do that? And he said, well, if I knew, you would know. So we just stayed there for a few, I don't know how long, but there was some silence for a while. But after a while, this is what he said. Here's how you do it. You do it with every decision that you take. Every moment, every decision, as small as it is, you have an election. You have a choice. You either choose to try and control it, or you just let it be. You just let it flow. You live in the present. And with every moment, every decision, you have another choice. You either move forward confidently or you let fear take charge. It's time to destroy this tower. Let us be free. Free yourself. You are us and we are you. And so yeah, and that was kind of neat. I don't know how to destroy the tower, but I don't think I'll be going back anytime soon. Day 11. Day 12. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but meditating has given me a lot of energy, and it's making it hard for me to sleep at night. I have had this problem before where I'm tired and sleepy, and once I lay my head on the pillow, I'm not sleepy anymore and it's a little bit hard to fall asleep. But last night was 3:30 in the morning and I wasn't even a little bit tired, not sleepy at all, zero tiredness. And I woke up at 8 a.m. yesterday, so it really makes no sense. And the only thing different in my life is that I started meditating, so it has to be that. There is no other explanation. So at 3:30 in the morning, I decided to do my 2-hour meditation, and yes, I admit it, a little bit I did it in hopes that it would make me fall asleep in the middle of it. Nothing else had worked, but I practically ended up meditating the full 2 hours. Yeah, okay, close to the end I kind of fell asleep, but it wasn't a very deep sleep, and once the meditation music stopped at 2 hours, I woke up immediately and full of energy. Since I was relaxed because of the meditation, it was a bit easier to fall asleep after that. But I just don't know what to do. I'm thinking maybe wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and then meditate the 2 hours then, so that I have a longer day to get tired. Or maybe meditate at 9 or 10 p.m. for the 2 hours so that I'm very relaxed and it's easier to fall asleep at night. Obviously, in the two cases, the higher of falling asleep in the middle of meditation and not completing the 2 hours, it's much higher. But it's kind of proven that meditating in the middle of the day for 2 hours just gives me way too much energy and I just can't fall asleep. Day 12. Day 20. I've been experimenting with different schedules and different guided meditations, and my conclusion is that it might have been a slight mistake starting with 2 hours. In the morning, I'm just very tired and sometimes I fall asleep. In the afternoon, I do feel like it's the best time and the most effective for me to meditate, but it just gives me so much energy and I can't sleep at night. And it's just so hard to find those 2 hours in the middle of the day. I mean, it's hard in the morning and at night as well, but just in the middle of the day, it's harder. And at night, I don't know, my mind is so much more active at night. It's crazy. It's so much harder to concentrate and try to meditate at night for me. It's like I'll be meditating and out of nowhere my mind is in this completely different place thinking many different things, and I don't even know what the guide in the guided meditation talked about for like the last 10 or 20 minutes. I think if I had started with 15 or maybe 30 minutes of meditation, it would have been so much easier. But of course, if I had done that, maybe I wouldn't have had some of the crazier results that I've had so far. Speaking of results, probably the most important thing I've discovered in this last few days is about the sexual abuse I suffered when I was a kid. For a very long time, I felt that I overcame that. But through meditation, I discovered that I kind of did overcome it in a way, just not in the best way. I accepted that what happened to me was horrible, but it was not my fault. I forgave even though the person that did that did not deserve that forgiveness, and I just went forward with my life. And that's actually great. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that I settled to live with a painful scar and accepted the effects of that trauma as if they were simply part of my personality. There are two types of scars. There's the scar that is simply a trace of something that happened. And then there's the scar that's uncomfortable, the scar that sometimes itches, sometimes it even hurts. It's the type of scar that still has influence with what you do. It still influences your life. I thought that in my case it was more like a trace, but through meditating I saw very clearly that it still hurts and it still has a lot of influence in my life. I have such a hard trusting people. Like, I literally don't trust anybody, and I always assume anybody I meet has bad intentions. I also have a huge fear of rejection. I just hate the idea of not being liked by someone and them rejecting me. Those two things have robbed me of so many experiences and opportunities and relationships. While I was meditating, I saw myself as a little kid, another version of me there sitting crying as a little kid, and I went to pick him up and he looked at me in fear. He didn't trust anybody, not even me. He was afraid, and I told him it's okay, everything is gonna be okay, and I hugged him, hugged myself. Sometimes this can get confusing. After that, I saw different scenes from my life, moments where my trust issues and my fear of rejection made me miss so many opportunities. But in those scenes that I was seeing in my mind, I didn't miss those opportunities. It was the version of the story of how it would have been if I didn't have that painful scar. I think that by meditating, I took the first step in freeing myself from all that, but of course it's a process and I gotta keep working on myself. And that's kind of where I'm at. For the next 10 days, the final 10 days, I'm gonna be just meditating, like the Transcendental method mixed with just focusing on my breath. No more guided meditations for these last 10 days. And yeah, day 20. Day 33. I didn't record a video for day 30 because I got busy doing other things, but I did meditate for 2 hours every day for those 30 days. And the truth is, nothing much special happened for the most of those last 10 days. I was just meditating, concentrating on my breath and a word. I think that for that type of meditation to be more effective and transcendental, you need more practice and more focus. That said, I did feel benefits like more calmness, more energy, and I don't know, it just feels good to meditate. You could think that just sitting there in your mind, not moving, not doing anything, just focusing on your breath or a word is a waste of time. But it doesn't feel that way. You really feel like you gain something out of it. It's a time to recharge yourself, and I don't know, it just feels very valuable. At least that was my experience. Having said all that, for the last 2 days, I decided to meditate in a completely different way. Instead of focusing on one thing and letting the thoughts in my mind just pass by, I took a hold of those thoughts and I explored each and every one of them. All those thoughts that I previously considered a distraction from meditating, I made part of the meditation. I haven't read anywhere of that being an effective way of meditating, but I don't know, I just wanted to try it and it fixed my life. I'm not even exaggerating. I reflected on all my problems. I reflected on all the experiences I had meditating. I reflected on my goals, my dreams. And I talked with myself, just analyzing the weight of everything, the root of everything, and just trying to think and trying to find solutions to what wasn't working right. The result was that the confidence in myself grew so much, and also my self-esteem, and just the confidence that everything in my life will be alright, will be more than alright. I'm being honest when I tell you that I no longer feel that weight of that fear of rejection. That desire to control everything, it hasn't disappeared completely, but it has diminished quite a bit. And also, through logic, I found a solution to what I believe is my biggest issue, which is just my horrible, non-existent ability to socialize. Obviously, I have to wait for an opportunity to test out that solution, and it's not very easy during quarantine and pandemic times, but at least I don't feel that fear of just thinking about talking to a stranger. Just the anticipation doesn't terrify me. Very probably my attempts to socialize will be a complete failure at first. I'm just being realistic because it's simply a skill I haven't developed in many years. But the important thing is that I no longer fear that failure. And when that failure does happen, I can go to meditation to reflect on what happened, on what I can do better, and to just simply find peace. I am by no means an expert in meditating. Actually, I'm pretty sure I broke all the rules on how you should meditate. But whatever it is that I ended up doing this month, it changed my life. Obviously, I did hope it would be a positive experience, but I did not imagine it would fix my entire life. I'm not saying that my life is perfect now. There's always things you can improve on, and this is definitely not a final destination. It's a continuous process that I am very happy to continue working on. To put it a different way, it's not that I don't have problems or obstacles anymore. The problems and obstacles are still very much there. I just see them from a different perspective. I now see myself as bigger and stronger than the problems, and the obstacles, I see them as an opportunity to grow and to reach another level. My goal for this video and what I'm saying is not for you to start meditating, especially because every single person has a different experience with meditating. But this was my experience with meditation, and I think it's worth sharing when something makes your life better. Meditating is not a formula to fix your life, but it helped me to lead me to that place, that deep-seated root, to find what was rotten inside of me. And in finding that, I was able to start working to process how to fix that, how to make things better, how to find solutions. Ultimately, I hope this video was of value to you, and if it does inspire you to start meditating, I would love to read in the comments your experiences with meditation. I know I would love reading that, so you can leave that downstairs. But yeah, just thank you for watching this video to the end. I'm not sure how interesting this will be to other people. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm just here trying to tickle your soul, and I will see you later, crocodile.